Oh, this you crazy mother.
What is going on today, guys? It's the Notorious Sam, and today I'm checking out Sunless Sea. Sunless Sea is a survival exploration game that takes place in a kind of creepy underground sea. So, let's get into this. You now lodge in a room above the blind helmsman. Who were you? I think. Okay, street urchin, poet, veteran of the campaign of 68, ordained priest, or a natural philosopher. And each one of these, whatever I pick here, is going to give me a certain number of skill points. So we've got, up here we've got iron, mirrors, veils, pages, and hearts. Each one of these have different purposes. I think in this playthrough we're going to start with iron, which basically increases any damage you do against enemies. So we're going to be a veteran of the campaign of 68. The game's fairly heavily text-based, so I won't read all of it, but I'll sort of linger over the text and let you guys read it if you want. Stern and exacting. They will not trifle with you. You promised a job to your acquaintance, the shady cook. He'll do until you find someone less disgusting. Okay, so we've got a few things here. We've gained some echo, the currency of the game. We've gained iron, the damage dealing stat. And we've gained a new companion, or crew member I suppose, the shady cook. And we've already got a quest here. Someone's looking for passage, so someone needs to go somewhere. You might be able to do that. Choose an ambition. What does winning mean to you? So this is all about the end game. How do we want to complete the game, basically? I think we're going to go your father's bones. So your father was lost at sea. You never knew him, but you've often dreamed of him. Find and return his remains to London for a decent burial. That sounds like the one we might want to go for. Okay. What will we be called? I'm thinking my lord sounds good. A pleasure to welcome you on board, my lord. Thank you, my good man. Okay. This portrait, I think, will suitably convey our lordship. Your father, lost at Z so very long ago. The trail was cold, but now you have a lead. So the Z is just what the sea's called in this game. It's called the Unterzee, I think is the full name. So we've got a slight lead there about our father from the Admiral. So we need to speak with the dark speckled Admiral at the Admiralty to find out more, I think. Passenger, someone in the docks wants to board your ship. Agree to carry the August travel rider to Gator's Morn. He's prepared to pay handsomely for transport and is keen to commission your ship specifically. Welcome aboard. So this is basically just a quest. We need to take this guy to Gator's Morn, which is a pirate settlement. Okay. London, she's the greatest city on the Unterzee. We'll visit the Admiralty Survey Office because they pay for information from Z captains. Find out what and how. Ask if there's anything in particular they need. Yep. This port. Speak to our agent there and return. We'll see that you're rewarded. So we need to retrieve strategic information from Gator's Morn in the Corsairs Forest. So we need to work out where that is. You start the game without any knowledge of the surroundings. The map's completely blank, so there's a lot of exploration and a lot of trial and error. I think we'll leave now. So we've got our quest. Out into the foggy street. Turn your collar up. Okay, we've got 8 crew members here. 8 out of 10. I think that's okay for starting out, so we won't have to quite recruit more. It costs 30 echo. We only have 70, so it's a bit too much. I think we want to buy fuel and supplies, because if those run out when you're on the sea, you're basically screwed. It's sort of a rogue permadeath structure, so yeah. Offer passage to a tomb colonist. An emigrant will pay to be taken north to Venderbright. We might go for that because it's good to get these early quests. The tomb colonist is in your hold. Take them north to the colony of Venderbright and sell them there. So a tomb colonist is a passenger rather than a good, but you'd never know it to talk to them. I think they're sort of just in a coffin, semi dead or comatose. There's a lot of locked options here, things that we can only explore later on, basically, or we need something, an item or a quest completed to engage in those. So let's go shopping. I think I'm going to invest all of our 70 echoes here into just fuel and supplies. So we'll go 5 fuel and 1 supply, because I definitely don't want to run out of that. Your lodgings. Read the morning papers. With these kind of events, you often get what is almost like an item. Recent news is kind of a currency or item in this game. People pay to hear about news from Fallen London or any other location, so we'll get that. The Echo Bazaar, that enigmatic marketplace, has increased its tax on love stories. So that's the news of the day. Someone might pay handsomely for that. My lodgings. There's a few things that are locked here. I think we have to complete more of the storyline to access those. Alright. Journal, this is like quests, basically. The quest location. So we need to go to Gator's Morn in the Corsar's Forest, and we also need to take the colonists to Venderbright. Alright, let's get started. So the game doesn't really have much music. It seems to flare up in particular places around particular locations, so there's a lot of just ambient noise for the most part. Now the C-Bat is basically our way of working out where to go. If I press it, it's going to go out and do scouting and find nearby locations. So there's no islands within range, unfortunately. I think this doesn't count because we've already seen it. Hunter's Keep. A grand manor. It's kind of standing alone on this island. Let's see what's happening here. Okay. Quiet Isle, a grand old house. Hunter's Keep, a hump of dark rock, swathed in mist like 100 other Unterzee islands. Okay, a few options here, what we can do. I'm going to look around the island, basically, see if there's anything else that we can find. Ships rarely come here, nothing changes, even the weather. The house is the heart of the island, the house and the sisters, but the Admiralty may be happy to know that nothing's changed at least. So we've got a port report. These things can be traded to the Admiralty back at Fallen London, and they pay you fairly well, so it's worthwhile getting one from each island. It's a good way of getting some starting echoes. Now, here we go. Here's a challenge. So this is based off our veils. This stat here: speed, stealth, deception. We've only got 25, so it's a bit of a challenge. We've got a 75% chance of success. Let's take a gamble here. 3 sisters. You peer through a half-open French window into a grand parlour. Grand in size, if a little reduced in style by dust and neglect. A dark-haired, pale-skinned young woman bends earnestly over a piano keyboard. Another fair-haired but unmistakably her sister sprawls on the sofa with a book. A third sits by the fireplace, staring sorrowfully into the embers. A log pops, and the woman by the fire gives a violent start. You cannot restrain a start of your own, and her eyes meet yours through the glass. Uh-oh. She claps her hands to her mouth in shock. There is nothing to do but step apologetically into the room. A visitor, says the pianist. The youngest cries. Oh, a visitor, the pianist, the youngest cries. The next youngest chuckles. The eldest, who you frightened, sighs. Excuse us, she says. Visitors are rare. You are very welcome. I am Cynthia. The noisy one is Phoebe. The cheerful one is Lucy. You are in good time for lunch. Will you join us? Okay, so we failed there. Became discovered, and now we might be able to try again. Okay, so we can see what these sisters are up to, but we're also acquainted with the sisters of Hunter's Keep. Luckily, when they found us spying, it didn't go particularly badly. The sisters can be tempted out of their lair by the smell of new stories. So basically the story we picked up earlier can be traded to these guys. You ask the sulphur-eyed maid to carry a few hints of your news to the sisters. Oddly enough, she comes back with a message that their headaches are cured and you're invited to lunch. So I suppose they found us interesting enough to engage. Okay, which one do I want to have lunch with? We're going to go with the soft voice, watchful, unpredictable Phoebe. Okay, I'm going to just linger over this and let the viewers read it. Otherwise it's going to take a bit long to read through everything. So you can pause and just check this out if you want. The writing's absolutely excellent. So that's all. We've got a memory of distant shores. So this is a new kind of currency. We're acquainted with the sisters and we've gained 1 supply. That's great. That's worth 20 echo, so quite a bounty. Let's keep heading north. So it's quite a spooky atmosphere in this game. Lots of green, lots of black colours, shades. We've also got this terror bar, so if this terror gets to 90 or above, we start running into massive problems, and this can be raised by being in darker areas or if the crew are frightened. You can see it's going up with this little skull icon. And you also can gain it from certain events and speaking to certain people. Okay, here we go. Some kind of city or settlement. Use this. No islands in range. Okay, this is Venderbright though. Quite a large city, and we've got a quest here to drop a tomb colonist off, so it's good that we found this place. We'll dock in and see what happens. One last fight. Your passenger has been drinking. Ahoy, she chortles. Defend yourself. She launches a tipsy assault. Your crew hang back, chuckling. Thanks, crew. So this is an iron challenge. We've already increased this at the start of the game. So we should be able to just completely succeed here. So basically she was disarmed and she staggers backwards and falls over the side of the deck. We never find out what happened to her, but at least you have her rather magnificent cavalry saber and her belongings. Okay, so we succeeded in an iron challenge. We brought the tomb colonists to Venderbright and defeated them in an unexpected duel, which I think we gained an outlandish artifact for that. Okay, we've gained iron, probably because of our success here, and we've lost the tomb colonists and gained 2 supplies, so not too bad. Those supplies are quite helpful. The tomb colony of Venderbright. On deck you can hear the sounds that 1,000 bandaged dead make as they shuffle and cough. Very creepy looking place. Okay, no options here. Explore Venderbright. You wander the echoing streets alone. From time to time, the sensation of being watched comes to you, but each time when you halt, you hear no other's footsteps. We gained a soothing copper longbox and 1 terror, so that's going to increase this. It's very low right now, which is quite a relief. Gather gossip. What's happening out in the tomb colonies? Along the coast of the Unterzee, it's remarkably hard to die. The decrepit and nearly dead who leave London become tomb colonists and settle here in bandaged peace. So I've got a port report of this Venderbright location. Trade that to the Admiralty, hopefully, if we make it back. Okay. We might see if we can try and swing past Gator's Morn as well, because I've still got 12 fuel and 9 supplies, so hopefully we can try and make another expedition and pick up this strategic information. For now we're just going to leave. We can't buy any fuel, we've got no money. Let's get going. I keep kind of just spamming ZBAT to try and see if anything else is around. Nope. So this is our map or chart. Right now, very blank. We've got a few locations here, but there's a vast unknown out there basically. So with these fragments, when we discover places, we gain usually around 50, I think. Yeah, 50. And these help us unlock more skills. Each time you get a certain amount, which is this bar here. Whoops. When this bar goes up, you can basically get another skill point. We've been attacked here by a Megalops crab. I'm trying to just stay away from his pincers and get behind him and take a shot with his cannon. So you click that when it's loaded up. Does a fair bit of damage, especially because we have the iron skill. Should make us fairly adept at combat. Oh, missed. Just trying to kind of kite out, avoid this guy for the most part. Oh, another miss. Okay, gonna go right out and try and get like a long straight shot. Okay, here we go. Oh man, it takes a little bit of getting used to. I need to let it load a bit more, I think. This is quite a poor attempt. It's actually hit us once, so we've lost 2 hull points. 73 out of 75. Okay, here we go. Load up. There we go. It's all about patience. With a forlorn and wailing cry, the Megalops turns on its back, legs neatly folded as bluish blood gouts from its wounds. Its golden glow begins to dim. So we can either butcher it for supplies or dissect it for knowledge. 75% chance of success. I feel like this might be better. We've got 8 supplies, it's quite a bit. So we'll try and do this and see what happens. You set to work with your knives and acids. So we've basically dissected it, succeeded in a challenge, and gained 25 fragments. So we need 193 fragments to gain a secret. With the secret, we will level up some of these points. So let's close that. Combat can be a bit of a hit or a miss. That was quite a scant reward, so sometimes you get much better things, but it's a bit of a gamble. We've lost hull points and basically fuel from attacking that, so not really worth it for 25 fragments. Over here we can see bats. I think those actually might be hostile, so we try and avoid those. Should be okay. Let's use our Z-Bat, see if there's anything around. No, there's not. Something's down here. I can see a lighthouse. Pirate steam pinnace. We could try and take this on. In fact, I'm quite tempted to. Let's go for it. Okay, nice. Try and stay behind it. It's only got front-facing cannons, so if we can stay behind, we're going to basically be able to just keep doing this, keep shooting it, kiting it. Oh, okay. Here we go. One or two more shots. There's several ways to play this game. You can either sort of play aggressively like this, or you can sneak around in the shadows. It depends what skills you've taken. Loot and scuttle her. She's a vile old vessel and these Z's aren't safe. Take what you can and move on. Sounds good. Lean pickings, great. We've got a cache of curiosities. Okay. Some sort of barrel, this is our reward. So we've got a firkin of prisoner's honey. This is what they call prisoner's honey, wrung by the lamplight bees from the exile rose. Not sure what that trades for or what we can do with that yet, but we'll check it out once we get to a shop. Here we go, Gator's Morn. Mark on the chart. So this Z-Bat icon shows us that the location that we just found with the Z-Bat is located right here. So we need to try and navigate over there and check it out. Here we go, Gator's Morn. Okay. Gator's Morn. The Morn is a stalagmite vast as a crag and its foot has no safe harbours. So it's a huge stalagmite, basically the very ramshackle looking establishment or structure built around it. Okay, so here's a location to drop off our August travel rider. Here is your payment, my lord. I'll be back by the evening bell. We'll discuss my next destination then. Okay, so this is going to keep continuing this quest. So we've gained 150 echo. It's quite a nice bounty. And a second request. The travel rider sets across the planks with good speed. His briefcase is in his hands. It seems heavy, although he claimed it held only documents and writing equipment for an interview with the Pirate King. Okay, that's quite intriguing. Let's continue. The August travel rider flips through his notebook while on your deck. Awful thing, that murder. Commonplace here, I suppose. Fortunately, my interview was illuminating and my business on the morn is complete. We can depart. I've another port to visit if you care for another 150 echoes. Why not? Splendid. So we need to go to the Cumaean Canal next. I might head back to the main port, Fallen London, first, resupply, restock up, because we're not too sure where this canal is. I believe it's in the south of the map, but we might need to stock up first. We could stock up here actually. It's very expensive though. I think fuel's only 10 echoes at Fallen London and supplies are 20, so this is like triple and double the price. There's different shops as well, illicit goods and also just a sort of wine and honey shop. For now, let's head back to Fallen London and submit our strategic information, I think. With the text, let me know in the comments below if you want me to read more or read less, and just pause the video when you want to do some reading. It's a bit hard to know how to proceed with that because there's quite a bit of text in some places, and it can take a large amount of time to read through it all. So just let me know what you guys want. Okay, what's the ZBAT going to turn up? Nothing. It's usually the case, it seems. Okay, we're a bit north, but we're heading probably in the right direction for Fallen London. As soon as you hear this iconic soundtrack, you know that you're coming back into Fallen London. It's like a welcoming relief from the dark sea and the unknown. As soon as you hear this song, it's like, I'm safe, I've survived. Unless you run out of fuel right when you're coming back in. That's the worst. We've come back with quite a bit of extra supplies and fuel. We weren't cutting it close at all, so that's good. It's a good start. Okay, dock. Collect messages from the harbour master. There's a few things that have happened. Something's changed. Someone wants to sign on, and the rose market is open. Okay, there's a few things here, a few new options. For now, we're going to head to London, visit the Admiralty. Okay, Hunter's Keep. So we submit our port report from Hunter's Keep. I trust the sisters are keeping well. They're citizens of her enduring majesty emotionally. So we gain a bit of echo. It's quite meager, but it's a very close by location. They don't pay as much for places that are very close. If you collect information from somewhere that's far out, you're going to get a much higher reward, basically. Fuel. So this is good. We're getting fuel and echo. Vendor Bright. What have the nearly dead been up to then? So that's a bit more. 10 echo. Speak to a higher authority. I think that's what we need to do to submit this strategic information. Oh, we can't actually do that yet. Right. We need to submit 3 port reports first. That's a shame I can't submit the strategic information, but we might need to go to one more port. Carouse in Wolfstack Docks. There is no danger here. Try to enjoy yourself. So this is going to cost us 10 echo. We need to have no romance or a child, and we need another day free, or another free evening. Okay, so it's a bit of a gamble. We've got luck. Our luck is high enough to give us a fairly good chance here. A marvelous night out. Sea shanties, fine food, and the warmth of a pub fire, and something more. So I've lost terror. That's pretty worth it, actually. We're down to 3 terror. We were fortunate. We lost some echo, and we have recent news, so we can trade that. That's nice. Ah, trouble and romance. That night in Wolfstack, you find yourself sharing a table with a likely lass, a dapper chap, and someone whose name you do not afterwards recall. We're gonna go with the likely lass. Looks like we can do it since we haven't already picked. She tipsily claims to be a spy. Whatever she is, she's easy to like, and when the evening ends, you're still together. Okay. The next morning, she gives you a pewter locket. As you reach for it, she grips it briefly in her fist. Don't you dare forget me, she says. Okay. We've lost all our terror. That's great. We've spent a night with the likely lass. It was a superb evening. Okay. I think for now we're going to wrap this video up. It's a brief introduction to this game. There's quite a bit more to cover and get into. I'll probably turn this into a series, so there will be another video coming out later in the week, probably. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys.